everyone, this is Olga Yaroshevsky with NexChange Interview Series, and it's my pleasure to introduce my guest today, Stefan Rust, Head of Business Development for Bitcoin.com. Well, literally the person who moves BCH forward, right? Hi, Stefan.
Hey, Ola, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and yeah, thanks for having me on your show.
How's it going? I know that you're in Slovenia right now. What are you up to?
Yeah, so lots going on. I mean, it's an exciting times. I mean, we're building, and you know, one of the things that we've got going at Bitcoin.com is really trying to get peer-to-peer cash, and how do we get enable people to be able to spend that cash. So we're on a drive to grow our merchants network from 100,000 merchants that are accepting Bitcoin Cash today already to 200,000 before the end of this year. So how do we scale that and do that rapidly? I was just in New York last week. I was in London the week before that, and now in Slovenia, then down to Malta, and then back to London again, and then up to Taipei. So it's a lot of building right now, traveling around the world, trying to grow this ecosystem. There are a lot of good partners around the world that are actually really building and establishing the ability for merchants to pay and minimize the volatility associated with cryptocurrencies, which the merchants don't want to carry. So how do we do that? What are the solutions out there? And everybody's got slightly different nuances in how they manage that. And so we're trying to align the communication to best enable Bitcoin Cash and our tools from Bitcoin.com to support that.
Let's go back to New York. I know that you were at Consensus, and I hope you liked it. And let's talk a little bit about Consensus. I know one of the biggest news at Consensus was the announcement of Gemini and Flexi Network partnership, right? And I know that BCH is going to join this network, right? So can you tell us more?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's basically, in essence, you can now go into a Whole Foods and you can pay with Bitcoin Cash as well as other cryptocurrencies. In that, a lot of that's powered by Flexa, and it's using Gemini's stablecoin. So you have, again, addressed the volatility issue with the stablecoin provided by Gemini. That was definitely, New York was amazing. I mean, sort of the blockchain week, New York was full with a whole bunch of activities going on, from mining through to lending and borrowing through to merchant applications that you just mentioned, with across a multitude of different financial instruments, futures, Backed, I think, did their announcement as well. So we did our announcement with Cred around support, and Travela around, again, another merchant that you can book your travel arrangements with for hotels, and then with Cred for being able to earn on top of your Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Core.
So more and more applications.
9% interest on your Bitcoin Cash. So if you have Bitcoin Cash, you can earn 9% interest on that now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Payments and payments networks. So what do you think, what would be the most challenging thing for the industry? What are the main challenges that we have to overcome, let's say this year or maybe next year?
For payments, adoption of payment.
Well, the fact that Whole Foods now accepts Bitcoin Cash is, of course, one step forward to mass adoption. But by the way, did you try it out yourself?
I haven't tried out. I didn't go to Whole Foods and pay because I think they haven't yet launched it physically in the store yet. And the interesting thing is, I was in New York. New York have the mandate for all retail outlets to support dollar bills. So they actually have to physically support cash. So I don't know if you've heard of Amazon Go, the self-serve supermarket grocery store. So in New York itself, they actually have to support physical payment of cash. Whereas all other Amazon Go's there's no cash whatsoever. You just go in, take it off the shelf, and leave. So that was an interesting finding as well. So I think how quick this will roll out across the whole Foods, I think is going to be interesting. And to me, the challenge going forward is again the stablecoin side. How do we get all of that on the blockchain so it actually can be, the blockchain provides the custodial element to all of these transactions. That's a big challenge, I think, making that happen. And what happens if so I was just in a store this morning. I paid my coffee in Slovenia in Bitcoin Cash. The cashier came up to me with a QR code. I used my Bitcoin.com wallet. I scanned it, and then I paid directly from my wallet to a QR code. And interestingly, the merchant's wallet is held in custody at the payment provider. So the payment provider is ensuring all the custody associated with the payments, is identifying that it's a Bitcoin Cash payment, is then remitting to the merchant a fiat, a euro denominated reimbursement against the Bitcoin Cash that I use from my wallet to pay them. So the merchant actually doesn't see any, it's just another payment provision to them.
Interesting. So it works in Europe as well, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay. Apart from payments, what other blockchain application fascinates you the most? Let's say, I don't know, health tech, digital IDs, anything?
So you can see there, I don't know if you can see in my Bitcoin.com wallet.
I can see that.
There you go. You can see the two payments here. The one for the breakfast and the coffee. And then the other one, the other one was $1.50, which was the extra caffeine that I needed to cover from my jet lag.
Which hardware are they using?
So they were using a terminal. So they were using the Igenico point of sale solution. And it displayed the QR code on a separate iPad screen.
Back to my question, what other blockchain applications do you like, do you think are perspective?
So I think what other application? I mean, I love obviously the earnings. So I can deposit. I earn in Bitcoin Cash. I can then deposit that somewhere and earn 10% interest on that. Whilst at the same time, if I need to draw down in any other currency, I can actually use that Bitcoin Cash as a collateral to draw down on a US dollar, euro, or even Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency that I would need in order to settle a kind of payment. So to me, that's an interesting capability today. As I love to see the application and what drives me or what keeps me excited is the ability to create, crypto-only enterprise, so that a company can live in the crypto world and live in our crypto land without having to go into fiat. So I can receive all my payments in crypto. I can pay my staff in crypto. I can then settle my outstanding invoices in crypto. I can manage my securities with all in crypto as well. So I can live in this ecosystem in crypto land. How do we make that possible? How do we get there and simplify that?
How much time do you think we need to get there?
Oh, I mean, we at Bitcoin.com, we already live there. And I met another company here in Slovenia already this morning, and they're already there as well. So I'm seeing more and more companies starting to adopt that and live in that world. To me, if you're working in crypto and not being paid in crypto, is sort of not quite the right approach. So if you're working in crypto, you should be being paid in crypto so you can see the pains and witness solutions and opportunities that this represents so that you can stay in crypto and enjoy the benefits of it and the speed, the low transaction costs, etc. associated with it.
Well, cryptoland sounds exciting, but what about the regulations and the real world regulations? You have to deal with that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we deal with that by not having custody, right? So there's a big difference between self-control wallets and non-self or sort of a hosted wallet. Who was it? A Coinbase wallet or a Binance wallet that you have. They have your keys associated with your funds, and then they display that for you, and you're entrusting them to manage that for you. Where you see more and more the way Bitcoin.com manages that is you have inside your wallet your private keys, and all of your funds are displayed in the wallet, and you are controlling them with your private key. All of the funding and the deposits, the values, the amounts are documented on the blockchain, and they're just displayed in the wallet. So that's how we do and are managing our compliance elements, where as you have control, you are responsible for your compliance and you're responsible for your money, and it's in your wallet. So it's all up to you, and we don't have any regulations with that. What we're seeing though is much more a growth of the accounting firms and the audit firms being understanding how to review and go through these different explorers. So all of a sudden you've got like a Price Waterhouse that has now 400 auditors being able to troll through what's going on in crypto land to then be able to identify what's happening. You have companies like Chainalysis and Chris, what's it called? I think it's called Crystal from Bitfury. That's allowing you to then identify irregular patterns on the blockchain, right? So all of those elements are now beginning to come up to fruition to provide much more legitimacy, professionalism associated with we're living in crypto land.
And I guess that's why Roger recently said that one shouldn't trust exchanges with his funds, right?
Yeah, I mean, look what happened. I mean, Binance, you trusting your money with Binance, you couldn't do anything with Binance. For a week, you were cut out, right? And I think what they did was, I mean, very smart how they recovered from that. I mean, they have their snafu fund, which is a good way to make sure that the customers are comfortable, that they have enough funds available to replenish any kind of hack. So I think they were very quickly, they could follow, back up that 40 million that was hacked apparently. But they also came up with a very smart campaign where they, so for every BT, they put aside 50,000 BNBs, I think it was, that they would spread for every investor that spent one Bitcoin equivalent within a week post them opening up there. I mean, if you look at that transaction, it's really interesting how they then sort of made up that 40 million really right away, quickly, in BNBs, right?
What is Bitcoin.com? What is Bitcoin Cash up to? Any new exciting releases, partnerships you can tell us about? Give us a little bit sneak peek.
Yeah, so we've launched, so Bitcoin.com, I mean, Bitcoin Cash is the underlying protocol, and a lot of people and developers are working on the Bitcoin Cash protocol. We had a interesting fork that took place on Wednesday. We managed that very successfully, that fork. We had some attempts to attack us during the Bitcoin Cash during the fork, and I think we thwarted 2 different attacks, so that was pretty good from the dev teams to be able to thwart those and make that transition go well. We've built out a set of tools on top of Bitcoin Cash. We have our SLP tokens, where you can now write contracts and issue tokens to Bitcoin Cash. On top of Bitcoin Cash, there are some interesting projects that are going live with that. There's Live and Pay out of Australia that works with some 5,000 to 6,000 merchants across Australia to support the Live and Pay, which is issuing tokens using the big SLP tokens. You've got ACD out of Japan, which is an e-commerce site associated with Nippon Airways that is also issuing tokens on top of Bitcoin Cash. There's Brave Sound, which is a Korean K-pop group that's issuing tokens. So a number of different companies are beginning to use and issue tokens on top of Bitcoin Cash, which is pretty interesting to see. We've got lots coming out. We've got I think we have announced, if not, we will be announcing local.bitcoin.com, where we have a peer-to-peer marketplace of trading and exchanging cryptocurrencies for fiat currencies. So that's live. We've got a gift cards solution coming out where you can actually purchase gift cards, very similar to the Flexa example. So there's a number of things that we're working on, and we've got a lot more coming. So we're going to have distribution partnerships, we're going to have more merchants, and we're going to have other abilities for our users to be able to transact with their money. So you're going to see a lot from us in the next 6 months.
Very good. Keeping up. Yeah. Keeping up with Bitcoin Cash. All right. Thank you so much, Stefan. This is very interesting, and I wish you good luck in Slovenia, and stay safe in your busy travel schedule. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, exactly. I got my water. Thank you. Always stay hydrated. But it's hard. I don't know. Sleeping on planes is, how do we get, I'd love a solution, teleportation. Who's inventing that?
That's the next step after, blockchain and crypto mass adoption. Okay. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you.
Thank you.